Feels like it's been a while since I've done like a slower instructive stream, but today's the day. So happy June. It's June 1st. We've made it to the halfway point of 2024. And there's a tournament going on right now. It's a 45-45 league season 40 kickoff. And I've never actually played in the league, but I think it's been around for several years now. It's a league for slower chess. 45-45 refers to the time control. But this arena is going to be 15 plus 15. So 15 minutes with a 15-second increment. And I think I'll just hop in. I am late joining. This is it's an 8-hour tournament. So nice thing is people can join, pause, leave whenever. So in over-the-board chess, 15 minutes is usually considered rapid. But in online chess, at least on lichess, it's considered classical. Isn't the halfway point at the end of June? That might be true. Yeah, I think we're at the beginning of the halfway point. How about that? Okay, playing classic 0-0. I'll play e4. Opponent's berserking. Okay, I'll berserk back. Why not? We'll have a shorter game. If my opponent berserks, then I berserk. Playing d4 and take. And bishop d3. For this game, I'm going to play the ChessMood repertoire. We do have a promotion going on for this whole month for ChessMood, which I'll talk about later. But they have a whole course recommending the exchange Caro from the white side. Pretty easy opening to play. Very often you get a London structure. Play bishop g3
Thanks
here.
For being you. Quack.
Thank you. Thank you all. Welcome back. I'm going to start with queen e2. So I don't want black to get in this e5 break. And especially if I can plant a knight on e5. And then later, like knight d2, f4, knight df3. This is one of the ideal setups for white. So black plays rook e8. Yeah, this is a big focal point. I think I'll just hop in right away. 95. I think this is a pretty straightforward opening to play, especially in faster time controls. So there's 3 attackers, 3 defenders. I don't need to defend the knight again. I think I'll just castle here. Get ready to play f4, rook e1 maybe. Actually, sometimes the other rook comes to e1. And especially if I play f4, then this rook is happy on f1. Welcome back to Nate K. Happy 35. There's a question, is castling queenside bad for white? Yeah, usually in these sort of openings, you don't want to put your king on the queen side with the half-open c-file, and yeah, black is pawn storming, so the general rule is you put your king where it's safest, where the opponent can't really access it, at least in the middle game. So f4 looks nice. There's a potential tactic here. If black tries knight d7, maybe try and pressure e5, prepare f6. There's an idea to play bishop takes h7, and then takes, and then queen h5, and then win f7, and then win e8. So it's a tactic I've probably had before in some similar structures. Black plays b4. So, I mean, this is what we call the minority attack. Black's trying to induce some weaknesses in my pawn majority. I might just ignore it. I could start with bishop h4, actually.
Let's gambit. Also 26 months of rook lifting.
Thank you, the magician. Happy 26. Yeah, this is one of these positions where I have a lot of attacking potential, but I haven't gambited or sacrificed anything, getting the best of all the worlds. At some point I might chuck a bishop at my opponent. Again, if knight d7, bishop takes h7, I think would just be winning for white. So So black is aware of the danger. And yeah, now if I take and then take, yeah, then the queen helps support f7. I might go for rook f3. Yeah, I'll go for rook f3. I mean, you see the setup also from a stonewall opening. Pawns on d4 and f4. Very common to lift the rook to h3 or g3. And I might be threatening to take, and then take, and then take, and then take, and then check, and then back, and then queen h5. Like if g6, queen h7, king f8, I take on g6 in the end, and then there's a pin on the 7th rank. But we don't go into that. But we're going into something that looks really nice for white. Okay, my bishop is attacked on h4. I could start by taking on e7, but then there's takes on d2. If I take on e4, there's takes on h4. And there's some fun lines to calculate, like knight e6, or knight d6, threatening the rook, threatening f7, also probably threatening this. Yeah, I'm going to go for this. There might even be like knight f6 ideas. But knight d6 should be like a bit cleaner. I should also mention that if black ever like tries to get the queen into c3, there's bishop h7 ideas. So now, I guess it's a question, like, do I want to take on h7 first or rook h3 first? I think both moves should be winning. Rook h3, if g5, I have g3. Or even queen h5 first. I'll play rook h3 first. Yeah, it's a dream position. And goes to show like how venomous this opening can be. I think the exchange Caro-Kann probably doesn't have the most aggressive reputation, but if black doesn't handle it properly, it can kind of spiral out of control. So now I can take on h7. Yeah, let's take first. I'm thinking bishop c2, bishop h6, and then queen d3. Looks pretty good. Creating the battery. Now if g6, I win the bishop. If f5, I en passant, and I'll still be threatening mate. Yeah, there were probably other ways to like execute the attack there. But this seems to be the most straightforward. Like if I put the queen on h5, then maybe it would be a little bit more difficult to crack the position. Okay, that was a pleasant game. We can do some quick analysis. But overall, yeah, I guess I can show the engine graph. Apparently I made one inaccuracy. Put this back here. Engine didn't quite like rook f3. Preferred rook ac1. I think rook f3 is fine though. Like rook ac1, also a fine move, but a little bit slower. Rook f3. Yeah, maybe there's some like engine line where black's okay. Anyway, yeah, I mean, once black commits to e6 and then leaves the bishop on c8, then like white is already quite happy. And as long as I control e5 and get the knight to e5. And then just to show this line...
Looking forward to the upcoming OTB tournament.
Oh, thank you. Alpha Peppers. I just want to show this line. If knight e7, then I would take on h7, take, and then check, and then here, and then take, and then here. And probably even check again, and then take the rook with check. And white just cleans up. Like if knight f8, I take on c6. e6 also hanging. So, before I move on to next game, I do want to mention the promotion going on for people that didn't catch my recent YouTube announcement or my stream yesterday. But for the whole month of June, I'm doing a collaboration with ChessMood, and they're unlocking all of their courses completely for free. We do have the ChessMood command, which will give you the link in chat. It's basically a learning platform. They have over 500 hours worth of very thorough and just high quality courses. They put a lot of effort into just creating a good product. And I think finally they're getting around to doing some marketing. So I'm excited to work with them. And I'm pretty sure they have a course on the opening I just played. Like they have a few different collections of opening repertoires. There's like a high level repertoire course, which I've done a lot of work in. But there's also like a more kind of beginner amateur course. So I get the question a lot, like what openings are recommended for different rating levels. And the openings that they recommend, I think, are like pretty easy to learn and easy to play. So if we click in here, let's see if I can find the Exchange Caro-Kann. Yeah, there's 12 videos on the Caro-Kann. I'm not going to dig too deep. This might be the very start of the repertoire.
Champions and future champions. Hello, chess.
Let's see. Anyway, I'll leave people to explore on their own, but it's a great resource. It's completely for free this month. So I think the goal for this tournament is to play like a good handful of the ChessMood openings, and then any games where maybe I run into trouble, I can go and look up their courses and see what they recommend. So let's go back to the tournament. Yeah, I feel like ChessMood it's one of the sites that it's been around for a while, but yeah, it's something that more people should know about. Like just the quality of their courses are top notch. So playing Zizou. Okay, so one of the openings that they recommend, I've been playing for a few years now, is Accelerated Dragon. Now, there's no guarantee we'll get an open Sicilian, but maybe we will. Oh, opponent's playing the Delayed Alapin. So this is actually an opening I've played a few times in my speedrun. Like c3, very similar to what you try and do in Ponziani, is take over the center. I'm pretty sure ChessMood recommends knight f6. I'm going to go with my usual pawn d5. This is what I've been playing since childhood. The point of pawn d5 is after takes and then takes, white doesn't have knight c3 to kick away the queen. So very often the queen is finally placed on d5. Oh, did the layout get thrown off? Maybe it did? Yeah, sorry about that. I think I just have to make the board... Okay. I hope that's better. Yeah, sometimes the window like changes sizes and it can throw off the stream layout. But as long as people can see the whole board, see the clocks, ratings aren't cut off. White plays c4, which, like on the surface, it looks like a useful move, attacking the queen and freeing c3 for the knight. The problem with this move is it basically gives me full control over d4. This pawn can't move backwards. So I'm actually thinking about queen e4 check. Can I play queen e4, bishop e2, and knight d4? It'd just be super aggressive. Another approach is like queen h5 and bishop g5. I'm looking for ways to try and punish this move. And the first step is to move the queen. Queen h5, bishop e2, bishop g4. The issue could be in those lines that white will eventually play like casting in h3. And then I don't really want to trade on f3. Maybe the queen can eventually drop back to g6. Like I'll start with queen e4, bishop e2, and develop like knight f6, even bishop g4. And when d3 is played, then queen g6. There's also like queen d6 or queen d8, which maybe aren't the most attractive moves, but a nice thing about queen d8, it gets out of the way of everything, and it keeps control over the d4 square. And he's similar with queen d6. I'm taking my time. I don't think I've ever had this position before. I think a lot of people would play probably queen e4 or queen h5. But the more I'm looking at this, the more I'm leaning towards queen d6. I think initially this move didn't come to mind because it doesn't harmonize well if the bishop wants to develop this way. But the bishop can just fianchetto, and maybe this will still resemble some sort of dragon setup. If I put the bishop on g7, then I'm going to have really, really good control over d4. Yeah, I'll start with g6. So with b3, yeah, crazily enough, I think black is already winning a lot of material, because the rook is practically trapped. Bishop b2 and knight c3 just lose the minor pieces. The only try for white appears to be pawn d4, but I have 4 things controlling d4. I'd probably take with knight. So yeah, showing no mercy. Hopefully some important lessons to take away. I mean, generally from this opening, white should just play d4 as quickly as possible, especially once you've played c3, and then go for the quick development of the bishops. Okay, opponent resigns. Yeah, it's not pretty for white. If pawn d4, I would take, and then I'm still threatening all these discoveries. I don't really see how white stops black from winning more material here. Engine says, yeah, it's already almost -5. So I just want to go back. After c4, Engine's saying a few options. It actually says queen d7, which also looks kind of weird, but I guess the point is to fianchetto the light squared bishop. So, let's keep it going. Played 2 games so far. There was a question from Tafaska, how many gambits have you won with? I've played 0 gambits so far, but I guess I've played decently aggressively so far. First game was exchange Caro-Kann, got the quick attack. This last game I had a tactic by move 6? Move 6 or 7? Maybe move 7. I see the comment from Cool Infer. Love you, dude. I play a gambit because of you. Nice. Which gambit? Oh, I see the next message. I personally play the King's Gambit. Nice. I don't play too much King's Gambit, but once in a while, it's fun to mess around with. Why can't I move? Refresh? Why can't I move? Wow. There's a weird bug. What's going on? I opened another browser.
Hello, Eric.
I literally can't move. I can't even draw arrows. That's so weird. I feel like I've encountered this before too. Wait, do I have to close the browser? Wait, let's just open a new tab. Something with my keyboard maybe. No. That's so weird. Also, thank you, Night Be Free. 5,000 bits. I really appreciate that. What's going on? I've had some weird things with my setup recently where the keyboard or mouse will stop working, but it's working in the other window. Wait, let me close. Bear with me one moment. I'm gonna keep playing this game. Let me just close out the browser and reopen, I guess. I'm glad I didn't forfeit. I don't know what I did to fix it, but I think I fixed it. Let's play bishop f4. Okay, hopefully the board is working fully. People can see it. Yeah, that's not the type of gambit I want to execute, is not being able to move any of my pieces. It wasn't a mouse issue, because like the mouse is working. And like it works in other windows. It just didn't work in the browser. Okay, so this game is actually very similar to the first game I played this stream. Like almost identical. If Black plays this and I play this, it'll be the same position. And I'm going to try and employ the same sort of attack with Queen e2, Knight e5. And the play just flows very nicely for white from the middle game. And this does look like a London. You can actually get this position from a London, but it comes from a Caro-Kann. You can probably more often get this from a Caro-Kann, because with the move order that I played, I didn't explain this first, but when white plays bishop d3, black can't develop the bishop to f5 or g4. So I basically just develop in such a way that black doesn't want to develop the bishop. I mean, if bishop g4, there's f3. And once black played e6, then I'm pretty happy just to have more active setup. Again, going for this queen e2 move. But yeah, there's some openings that can transpose into one another. So like if I showed a grandmaster this position, the grandmaster would not know if it came from a London or a Caro-Kann. And there's other lines like Alpin Sicilian. When you get the IQP position, it can the same thing can emerge from like different queen's gambits. So sometimes, well, what do I want to do here? There's this move. We'll start with knight d2. Like sometimes in chess, it's important to understand the structures that come from your openings rather than just trying to memorize opening theory. And this is a very typical sort of structure, type of setup, can come from a few different lines. And again, the plan is knight e5, castle f4, rook a e1, probably eventually bishop h4, attack on the king side. Or yeah, or just take free material. Opponent abandon their bishop. Okay, so I'll try and clean up as quickly as possible here. There's a question, do you try the W opening? Is that when you just win and then you say W as opposed to the L opening? What to do? 95 still. It does look weird because I'm leaving my bishop kind of cut off now, but the bishop does have this diagonal. There's a question about the Fred. I feel like I used to know what the Fred was and then I forgot. Let's take a thing. Oh, the W is when you create a pawn structure with the shape of a W. In this game, I might have the upside down V. I guess if I play like B4, that's half a W. I'm not sure how important that strategy is. Do I want to keep the bishop? Maybe I'll play a little bit conflicted here. Queen g4. Let's play queen g4, threatening mate. If f6, there's queen g6. And if takes, I'll take back. I do concede my darks for bishop, so I probably won't be mating on g7. Unless I can get my rook into play. It's probably time to start lifting some rooks. There's also the idea of f4, f5, f6. Or just bringing the knight in. Have you played the Scrabble opening? Is there a Scrabble opening in chess? I feel like I would need like Scrabble tiles for that rather than chess pieces. I guess Scrabble has like a lot more openings than chess. Like in the starting position of a chess game, how many legal moves are there? 16 plus 4, there's 20 legal moves. In a Scrabble game, there's got to be like over 100,000 opening moves. And then after 2 moves in a Scrabble game, man. Oh, that's nothing to sneeze at. Oh, man. I'm getting sneeze attacked. I'm sorry. Man, I don't know what just happened. I'm allergic to something. 'Tis the season of allergies. Yeah, the weather's getting warmer. I forgot to take my allergy medicine today. That might be a record for me. Like 3 sneezes in a row on stream. Like usually I have time, like I have a hard time getting out 1 sneeze. I might just be allergic to thinking about Scrabble right now. Yeah, there was a question from Genbend like about Black's light squared bishop, why it wasn't developed. But yeah, again with this move order, like if you're gonna play the exchange Caro-Kann, then bishop d3 is the way to go because yeah, bishop can't develop, and I think it's like more often than that Black will play e6 and just leave the bishop blocked within its pawn chain. Now there is bishop g4 here, and I should know the theory. I guess in Master's Database, queen b3 is the go-to move, where white now exploits the undefended pawn on b7. And I'm almost positive that ChessMood has a course on the exchange Caro-Kann. I was having trouble finding it earlier. Like it might be within the Caro-Kann course. Can we see here? Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, ChessMood has like I think it's more focused on like the resulting middle game structure. But I guess for anyone that wants to adopt this opening for white, this would be the course to check out. It's called the White Mood Openings. So again, the link is in the chat to get free access for the entire month of June for ChessMood. Super grateful for them to be just giving away all access to their site for free for this month. So back to tournament, 64th place. Playing meilizard. And let's play another Sicilian. So I'm pretty sure ChessMood has like a couple repertoires against e4. Their advanced repertoire focuses around the accelerated dragon. Their beginner repertoire actually focuses on the French, which I haven't looked at much, but I'm kind of inspired to learn. They call their repertoire the French attack. They play more aggressive variations within the French. So with knight c3, white is kind of keeping me guessing. if d4, we can transpose into an open Sicilian, but white also has the option of not playing d4, plays d3. So this is a more closed Sicilian. And I'm inclined to play e5 immediately. There's a few approaches for black here. Like I could play e6, knight e7. Yeah, maybe that's a bit more flexible. And the drawback of e5 is I do concede control over d5 a little bit. And with e6, eventual plan is to play knight g7 and d5 and expand the center. Probably eventually a6, b5. Yeah, even in the exchange French, there is, it's actually not like a huge headache for black. Even though it's a symmetrical structure initially, black can usually choose lines that lead to opposite side castling. And very often they lead to fun games. But there were a few exchange Frenches in the candidates. Yeah, it's becoming, I think, a trendy opening at the high levels. I'm going to play b6 here. White was attacking the pawn. And d6 was another move, but I'd rather have the option to play d5 soon. Now, there's sometimes a trap. Like if white had developed the bishop to c4, then there'd be the threat of d5 and then d4. There's cases where black just wins the piece very early. It's not going to be the case here, but I'll still probably go for d5. And I'm castling first. I think this is most flexible. I'm going to say maybe white would go for bishop h6. Let's go for d5 here. Now I'm threatening the fork, so what can white do? We might see bishop h6, and then they'll have a choice. Let me get some tissue. It's possible that after this game I'll need to take a break and find my my allergy medicine. Okay, we do see bishop h6. So, I'm wondering if maybe I should have played rook e8 first. Because there's cases where like black can avoid the trade to play bishop h8, but in this case, I can't afford to just allow bishop takes f8. So, I might just play bishop e7 here. I could play d4. d4 to grab space. I'm just going to play bishop e7. I think this is a flexible move. See what white is up to. If takes, takes back. And I don't mind if the center opens a bit. Like if takes, takes, then the diagonal becomes open. And I would have a bit more space with the pawn on c5, knight d4 potential. I think someone earlier was asking about knight d4, which is a typical idea in these positions. But with having played d5, I don't want to be blocking the pawn too soon. It's possible that I might take and then eventually play knight d4. But I might also leave the tension, like queen c7, rook d8, and just build up behind the pawns. Wow, so white plays d4. So there's a lot of tension here. Tension between the pawns and the bishops, even the queens potentially. Thank you, Alexa played Nickelback. Happy 23 months. I mean, if I just take, I guess white can take here first and then take and then take. There's a lot to calculate. Feels like I'm winning a pawn though. Like, let's just power through the calculations. If I take first, I think white would have to take the bishop. Takes back. Takes doesn't work because I win the knight and attack the queen. So white would probably take on d4 with a knight. And then I take here, and I hit the knight on d4 with the queen. And the knight's actually kind of pinned to the white queen. And white doesn't have time to take, because then I just take on d4. If rook d1, then we can trade. Take on d4, take on d4. Yeah, I should be holding on to this pawn. I don't think I want to take on h6 first, because after takes, like even if I win a pawn in the center, white just might checkmate me with knight g5 and queen h7. So yeah, I'm going to start with this. And yeah, I should mention that if takes, then there's bishop takes, so better just to get rid of the bishop.
Busy times. Here is some free money.
Oh, thank you, Franny ST, the Prime sub. Thanks so much. Yeah, so again, I was calculating d takes e4. And you always have to watch out for potential danger, but looks like everything is pretty much covered. Due to symmetry was asking why should black king take back? Oh, I think I answered that. Yeah, like in this position. It seems attractive to take and attack the queen, but the bishop escapes and saves everything. I'm really feeling the urge to sneeze more. Oh man. I might step away for a moment. I think I'm going to step away for a moment. Find some like medicine, nasal spray. I'll let my opponent think. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. I found some Allegra. I found some nasal spray. Opponent plays knight b3. So I think I'll just trade queens. And then I'm thinking takes and knight d4 looks quite nice. I see the dono. Let me focus on the position, and I'll look at the message shortly. Go for this. A nice thing here is I unleash the bishop. And even though there's two attackers and one defender, if takes, I win the bishop and end. I'm also attacking the c2 pawn. And if necessary, I can play f5 later, but I think for now everything is under control. I was not searching for Benadryl, no. I don't really take Benadryl. I think it causes sleepiness, right? Yeah, now probably f5. Okay, so h2 g2 tipped $3.82. Wonder what the significance of that is. I wonder if that's like different currency. Maybe Canadian dollars. Says I played my young cousin recently, who said you're one of his favorite streamers. I did my best impersonation of you, as I offered him a free queen. Oh no, your queen. He took it with a rook protecting his weak back rank. Well, sounds like a nice experience. Yeah, shout out to your cousin. Thanks for the support. Let's just continue improving here. Rook d8. I'm just realizing I probably could have played bishop a6. Maybe would have been a bit better. There would be b3. And bishop a6 is probably coming soon, along with rook c8. Oh, welcome back to Laszlo Ho. I remember this username. I don't know if Laszlo Ho is still here. I feel like they were active during the poker stream. Maybe like a very good poker player themselves. Oh, H2G2 says 382 is 3... Oh, 3 British pounds. Okay, nice. Yeah, it's been a while since I've used British pounds. Last time I was in London was in 2021, 2022. It was like shortly after I played in Gibraltar, I spent a few days in London. Oh, Laszlo used to play poker professionally. Yeah, I remember like watching the stream back and like reading the chat, and it was like very clear who the like knowledgeable poker players were in chat. It was actually like a good learning experience for me. Unlike chess, it was like a very big learning. I mean, chess too is a learning experience, but unlike chess, I just felt like a beginner when I played this poker event, and I was like very thankful that like there were knowledgeable people who were critiquing my plays. So can I take? There's a weird line: takes, 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 and then takes, and then takes, and then takes, and then king f6. I think that works. I mean, usually when you're up material, you don't want to make things too messy, but it can still be okay if the messiness goes in your favor. Yeah, because we're simplifying, and looks like black is winning some material. Oh, welcome back to Thomas Thrainson. Yeah, one of the OGs. Hope you're doing well. I see the comment from Phoenix Fire Gamer. Activated ChessMood gift. Oh, wasn't able to create an account from the phone. Yeah, it might be... I actually don't know how it works in terms of like across different devices, but you might have to make one from desktop or PC. But I've definitely used ChessMood on my phone before to watch their videos, so you should be able to use it in a browser. Thank you, Agrippa. Happy 27. I was thinking f4 could be an idea, but I probably don't want to subject myself to knight g4, and then like it's actually very close to black getting mated. It's probably still okay, but there's no reason. Hey, thank you, Knight Be Free. Gifting to Thomas. Yeah, the idea would be to remove the knight from defending the bishop. But then the knight can get away with check. So the plan's probably to double on the d file. Maybe even just play rook d7, trade rooks, be patient. I think rook d7 is just a safe and solid move. If I can get rid of the rook on the 7th rank, then the king has more freedom. Now, pawns are equal. We both have 5 pawns. But I have rook for knight. And I'm thinking rook h8. Align with the king, attack the pawn, and then if g3, I have g5. King g3. There's a funny line.
Happy 16. Hope you are well.
Oh, thank you. There's a funny line where I move my king with checkmate. e5, knight d5, king e6, knight takes b6, f4, king g4, king f6, checkmate. Oh, it's not checkmate though, because knight takes g7. Never mind. Yeah, probably not great to allow that. I got excited for a moment. I want to play this, but knight d5. Oh, maybe I can play king f7. And I'll be threatening f4. Rook takes h4. I could also just play g5. That's probably the simpler approach. Threatening f4, keeping the knight restricted. And then if takes, I'll be threatening f4 with checkmate. If white plays f4, I en passant. Yeah, it does seem like we're close to having some mating ideas. Especially if the h file opens. Oh, welcome to Johnny's Showtime. Been watching Eric, Levy, Hikaru, many others on YouTube for a long time. But first time watching live. Nice. Yeah, I know it's slightly different viewing experience watching live. You can interact in real time. You can catch all the moments where I sneeze. I mean, I have been putting most of my streams on YouTube, on the extra channel. And those are lightly edited. But we'll usually have the full, whatever, 2-3 hours that the average stream goes. Yeah, this isn't quite mate. The king has one legal move. But then I win the knight. So, yeah, I think pretty clean game. Stemmed from more of a closed Sicilian. And yeah, sometimes when you play the Sicilian at lower rating levels, you won't necessarily get mainline theory. Like, probably less than half the time people actually go into open Sicilian. And very often you'll get something like this, or something with the bishop on c4, and then it's a matter of getting a nice setup. Yeah, d4 is probably the first clear mistake from white. Okay, let's keep it going. Oh, Garrick's had a question. Maybe someone else had a question too. Is there an opening that you struggle the most with? I have to be careful answering that question because I have a very high-level competitive over-the-board tournament coming up. And if any of my opponents are watching, I don't know if I want to answer honestly. It's one of these things that, at least when it comes to like over-the-board chess, I don't want to reveal too many of my opening holes in my repertoire. I'd say in general, I stay away from like Grunfeld and Neidorf. Just openings with a ton of theory do scare me a little bit. I usually trend more towards sidelines. Okay, we're playing another Sicilian.
Oh no, my tactics spies.
Oh yes, my tactics. Oh, tactics spies. Like, yeah. How many spies are watching? Also, how's it going, Gari? Shout out to Gari. Hope you're doing well. So we're having our first mainline accelerated dragon. White plays bishop to b5, which, I mean, usually the move is bishop c4. I'm not sure if I can punish this right away. Like, knight takes e4, queen a5, I don't think works. I think it's best just to castle here. And probably eventually, like, queen a5 or maybe even a6. Yeah, I'm on my own. Bishop e5. Like, very often, black goes for like d6 or d5 in these early middle game positions. But the d-pawn has a role to play. I guess I could just play a6 If takes, I should be happy. And there's an idea, like if bishop c4, then there's a center fork trick, which very often can be like totally fine for black in these lines. There's a question, what's wrong with e5? e5, it's probably not like a tactical blunder, but it's usually not a move you want to play too early when you fianchetto the bishop. The bishop wants to be unobstructed. Could consider taking with a d-pawn. I think it's better to take towards the center. Yeah, more often the break is d5. Expecting either this or this. I didn't really want to trade queens. Like if I took here, then takes and takes, I think it would be easier for white to play. But having another pawn come closer to the center, it's possible that I can build up some center, and it's even very possible I'll end up playing e5 if I can get the two center pawns grabbing space. I guess it is weird to have the bishop attacked by both pawns in this position. Opponent's probably just debating where to move it. Why do you have an ambulance near your name? Because someone called an ambulance. But it probably wasn't for me. At least most of the time it's not for me. Sometimes it is for me. The ambulance is on standby right now. And so far this has been a pretty tame game. Just some innocent trades. Given the time situation, my opponent probably should make a quicker decision here. They're still online. Does Lichess show the connection? Oh, they do. So maybe not the best connection, but decent connection. Uh-oh, opponent left the game. I can claim a victory in 110 seconds. There's a question from Bobby Fish. Are there any side events in Madrid? I'm going to be there a week after. I think there might be some spectator activities. I'm pretty sure the tournament itself won't be open to live spectators because it's a relatively small space. But if there's any events, I'll probably share them on social media or in my recap videos. So yeah, there's going to be the Kramnik-Jospa match June 7th through 9th. And I'll be in town for that, so I'll probably get to see it in person. I might even hop in for commentary. I know Levy's, I think, doing the main commentary on his channel. I've never met Kramnik before in real life, so it should be interesting. The dream is to just play a game against him. Maybe play a Stafford Gambit. But yeah, I saw some question earlier if I have classical events coming up. So my most recent YouTube video, I did share a special announcement. And I'll actually be playing more events this summer, not just in Spain, but gonna save it for later announcements. Okay, I guess I'll claim a victory. I mean, this game was cut short. Bishop b5. How many master level players have played this move? I'm guessing between 0 and 5, according to the database. Let's see. Hey, exactly 5 games in the Masters database. Yeah, I mean, this is a super well-known position. Bishop e5 has been played 3 times. I guess there's been transpositions too. And Engine doesn't hate it, but also doesn't love it. Castle, castle. Oh, wow, there's knight g4. Which is a typical move that I kind of forgot about. The idea is, yeah, we give away the knight, but we attack this knight. So if takes, then there's takes. And I assume if takes, then I guess we could just take back with a d-pawn. Yeah, this is nice. Defending, attacking, still attacking this. So, okay, I probably won't face this again, like, anytime soon. This might be the only game in my lifetime I face bishop b5, but if I do face it again, I'll keep this move in mind. I think the broader takeaway is, yeah, when you encounter something like new or rare, you want to take a moment to identify your options, consider the candidate moves, be aware of like the thematic ideas. And this is just an idea I kind of forgot about. Because isn't there a line like bishop c? Is there knight g4 here? Knight g4 here doesn't work as well. I thought there's some lines where like we play a5 first, bishop b3, and then I don't know. Or maybe it's castling first, bishop b3. And then knight g4 is actually a line. Yeah. Maybe objectively it's dubious, but still good to keep in mind. Okay, top 20. I late joined this tournament, but I guess maybe going kind of slowly. Over 1,100 players. I don't think I'll play the whole tournament. Even if I play the rest of the tournament, it's not the whole tournament. I joined over an hour late. I'll probably play for at least another hour, though. Hopefully work my way up, play some stronger competition. Question, do you ever play the classical dragon? I probably have at some point in my life, but not recently. I went through a phase of playing the Dragon Dwarf, which is a hybrid of the dragon and the Nightorf. Oh, we have a Latvian. Okay, so ChessMood has like a whole course refuting the Latvian. I watched it over a year ago. I forget whether to take this or this pawn. I'm pretty sure I take this pawn. There's some crazy like knight c6 line. Knight f6, okay. Is it d4? Oh, this is yeah, this is gonna test my memory. I remember some like nice idea. Like we put the knight on d3 and then f4, I think. I thought. Oh, okay. I'm taking a moment to try and remember. Because there's also the elephant. No, but the elephant's different. Okay, so I'm pretty sure it's d4. And there's also takes here. Wait, d4, d6. I just remember the idea of like this and this, but what happens after bishop f5? Also, I feel like, yeah, okay, there's a move queen f6, but knight f6 is different. Yeah, with queen f6, we play d4, d6 here. There's a really nice recommendation in ChessMood. I don't think I watched the recommendation against this move, though. Like, do we just take on f5? And then, let's say d6, move back, take, and be up a pawn? Is it that simple? I think I'm gonna bite. Accepting, I mean, accepting 2 pawns. There's a funny idea too, like d6, f4. Probably no good. I probably just want to like hold on to at least a pawn here. After the game, maybe I can share the line. Because I think the main line is queen f6, d4, but... Okay, this is a different path. Can I play g4? How crazy would that be? g4, bishop d6, d4. I don't think I mind it. And it's kind of greedy, but I'm going for it. I'm up 2 pawns. I'm overextending a little bit. If it doesn't work, then hopefully I'll have some lessons to take away. Yeah, knight d7 is probably very fine. But now can I play this move? g5. And like if the knight moves to e4, I have queen h5. If either thing takes, I just take back. Okay, now I'm just trying to punish black's opening. Hopefully this doesn't backfire. It kind of reminds me of a reverse King's Gambit, where very often, like when you're black, you accept the gambit, then start pushing your kingside pawns. There's lines where like the white player will sack a piece. It seems like here black's going to have to sack the knight. Like somehow. Because knight e4, queen h5, g6 I take. Looks really, really good for white. Question about removing move suggestions. I actually haven't looked at chat the last, since the opening basically. So very often if I'm in like a interesting position, I just stop looking at chat to not be influenced. So if people are like latently sharing like engine evaluations, then those should definitely be removed. In general, it's good to like ask questions about previous positions. But yeah, okay, let me focus here. So if takes, I guess black has some compensation, like takes and then queen takes. And then f2 could be a target. The castling's a decent practical option actually. So takes. I'll be up a piece and a pawn, but severely underdeveloped. An alternative is bishop f4, even bishop d3. Calculating takes, and then bishop e3. There's rook e8. Like, I just want to play queen d2, knight c3, and castle. But am I in time? Take. The other option is takes, and then just bishop e3 immediately. Leaving the knight here, I'd lose a pawn.
Theoretically top 10 League Chess Classical by rating.
Oh, really? I think I still need to play more games to get an established rating. But yeah, if my rating can be established, I'll appear on the leaderboard. Yeah, I'm going to take, and then I'm leaning towards... Oh, wow, I was not expecting that. I think this is a better version, because I take... And do I throw in this move? Also, I guess, okay, black wants to take back on e5 with a knight. And do I have f4 there? f4 looks nuts, but it might just be good. I have to take on e5. So I have triple f pawns. Yeah, there's actually some choices here. Like I could take on g7. Bishop g2 actually looks quite nice. So if I just castle, then the king should be safe. And bishop g2 threatens to take on d5 and trade queens. So what is black doing? Bishop g2. If queen takes f6, I take on d5. Let's say king h8, bishop e3. All I need to do is get the king safe. Another move that comes to mind is this move. Bishop g5. Threatening f7 check to win the queen. You know what's crazy is bishop g5, queen e8. Let's say pawn takes g7, knight f3 checkmate. Double checkmate. But I wouldn't let that happen. Like I have bishop g5. I don't think bishop g5 is necessary though. I can put the bishop where it can be exploited. Like queen e8 or queen d6 happens. I'm still considering it. I think my top choice is bishop g2. Initially I was looking at f4 too, but yeah, it just doesn't feel right. I'm going to play bishop g2. I think this is the most multi-purpose, useful move. Putting pressure on the pawn, leaving my pawn here. What's nice thing about this time control is it's still rapid chess, but you can definitely slow down in more critical moments. Especially when things are crazy, it can be useful to take time, consider the options, and calculate. And I still have plenty of time with increments. And really all I need to do is survive like the next 5 moves. Like if I can just develop and castle, I should be in good shape. Still tricky. c6. Yeah, c6 is kind of annoying. And if I take... Really just trying to slow down black's initiative. I have bishop f4. Yeah, let's play bishop f4. Attacking the knight. If queen takes f6, I'm thinking I just castle. And the bishop's a useful defender. Like, even though I'm lacking pawns on the king side. Black will win the f5 pawn somehow. And yeah, at some point I want to bring my knight in. I can't play queen d4. I'm actually wondering about this move, but probably want to keep my bishop here. If I take... Do I take or play knight d2 first? I think knight d2. It looks like black almost has tactics. Like bishop here or here would hit my queen and my bishop, but I think both moves can be met with bishop takes e5. Oh, thank you, Uncle Bobby TV. Uncle Bobby or Uncle Bobby? Appreciate the raid. Yeah, if you're just joining, I'm playing in the... it's a classical arena tournament, 8-hour long tournament. It's a 45-45 season 40 kickoff. So this is, I believe it's a free league that runs every so often. So they're about to have their 40th season. And yeah, now I'm just going to save the bishop. I might be dropping another pawn. But as long as my king is safe, if queen takes b2, there'd probably be rook b1. Knight h4. Can I take and play knight f3? Yeah, because the issue, like, if I allow knight takes g2, then my light squares are just really weak, and black has a light squared bishop. It's maybe manageable, like pawn c3 takes. Yeah, I think I'll just take. This should be simpler. And then knight f3. I'll probably end up centralizing the queen, get in c4. Oh, Baubi. Wait, Baubi or Bobi? Because B-O-W can be pronounced bow or bow. Josh defining Bobby, a half penny in Scotland. Okay, can I play 95 here? Knight e5 offers a queen trade. Also prepares f4. It's actually the nice thing. Having a knight, and with black only having a dark squared or a light squared bishop, I can really make use of some dark squares. And if I get in this construction with f4 and queen f3, and the knight is just godly on e5. It also unleashes the bishop, maybe prepares pawn c4. So it's looking good. Learning some new words, or just reviewing some known words. Farfal. Bow-shaped pasta. Is it pronounced farfal or farfali? Probably just butchering the pronunciation. My opponent didn't fall for the Rosen stalemate trap. I demand a refund. Yeah, it's not guaranteed to happen. Maybe I should have a disclaimer for whenever I get it. But it works some percentage of the time. Like non-0%. Okay, c4. There's also queen e1. Might as well play c4 first. Creating the pressure point against d5. Rook d8 I take once. And maybe even queen d4. Yeah, Magnus fell for it once. I think it was Naroditsky who trapped Magnus with it. Bishop e4. Okay, we can trade in queen g4. Looks pretty clean. I could also just take. Sometimes I'm just indecisive in these moments. I guess the one thing I have to be careful of is rook takes f4. But then I just move back and I save the bishop and the knight. Okay, I'll go for this. Yeah, really just trying to simplify to endgame. Maybe there will be some prospect of queen e6 and create some smother mate ideas. It still requires patience, though. Play rook e1. Yeah, it doesn't look easy for black to defend this pawn. And black could try queen c5 and then e3. But then, okay, then I have either queen e6 or knight d7. Okay, I'm not scared of this. Knight controls g6. So let's take. I still want to play king h1. Maybe even use the g file. Like rook g1. There's a question. Eric, do you have another job for a living next to playing chess? Yeah, I always struggle explaining what I do to people. Not what I do to people, but like what I do for a career. Because my career has been somewhat non-traditional. I'm not an ambulance driver, no. But yeah, it's I mean, I'm super grateful that I've been able to kind of make a career out of creating chess content online. So it's not just like playing chess or playing in tournaments, but it's creating the educational video content for YouTube and streaming. And yeah, it initially started as a side project, but eventually grew into to a full-time career, basically. I play this move. Actually, king h1 might allow rook g6. Maybe rook e2. Wait, rook e2, rook g6, takes. Okay, let's focus. King h1, rook g6, takes. Don't want to go into that. Maybe I can play this move. Rook fe1. Honestly, don't see anything wrong with this. I'm not sure if I have a clear threat here. Because knight takes e6 is met with queen c5. I probably just want to like keep improving. Maybe h4, h5, king h2. Yeah, I've had multiple side jobs over the years, or like different gigs. Did some photography gigs way back when. Even like non-chess photography gigs. I did do a summer internship in just outside of DC during college. But it made me realize that I didn't want like a 9 to 5 office job. Oh, Pepega Chess Player says, I was half expecting you to be doing photography at Norway Chess. Yeah, it would be a cool event to attend. I would like to go to Norway in the summertime. I went to Norway for the first time about a year and a half ago as a Kragero chess tournament. But it was in February, so weather was a bit colder. Okay, do I have this move? Hitting the queen. I'm just trying to be clean here. Knight e3. I guess then if rook takes, I can take the queen or the rook. Wait, there's rook g6. Wait, but queen b6, c5. Yeah, this should be fine. It does look messy. Like, there's a lot going on here. I'm attacking the queen. I've unleashed my rook battery on the e-file, so black has two things attacked. But the knight on d3 no longer controls g6, so black has this resource, but I don't think it works because there's just too many other issues for black. A nice thing about knight d3, I prevent queen c5, and if queen b6, check, I have c5 to block the check and still attack the queen. So there's various lines where we end up trading, maybe get some material imbalance. Like if rook takes e4, I could either take the rook, take the queen, or play queen c8. I'm pretty sure all three moves are winning. Queen c8 might be the cleanest. Or the dirtiest, because there's this move. Yeah, maybe not queen c8. So if takes, I could take here. Because if rook g6 I take, and if takes, king f2, it's it's in balance. It would be queen and knight for two rooks and pawns are equal. I don't think I made the realization that pawns are equal. In the last three moves I thought I had a knight for a pawn, but now that I'm counting, count to 5 for both sides. Yeah, so taking the queen might be cleanest. Yeah, initially I thought queen f or queen c8, there's rook f8. Or initially I thought queen c8, king f7, but yeah, rook f8 I don't want to deal with. The other option is just taking back. And if I take back, queen's still attacked. There's queen d2. But am I threatening mate? Let's calculate. Rook takes e4, queen d2, rook e8, rook f8 I mate, king f7. Oh, I think it is mate. Oh no, it's not. I was looking at knight e5 takes and queen d7, but there's queen takes e7. But I can play queen d7 first. So okay, takes, if queen d2, rook f8, king f7, queen d7, king g6, and then knight e5. And I'm probably mating, but I'm also just winning the queen. Which means the queen can't move to d2. If rook g6, I just take it. Because queen b6, c5. And otherwise, I guess there's queen f8. But then maybe queen d7 and... Okay, I'll think in that position, but yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do this. I guess with queen f8, I also have 95. Yeah, here I think I would just take. It's very important that after queen b6 I have c5. If not for c5, I'd probably be losing. Okay. Okay, yeah, it was required some calculation towards the end. But yeah, I think everything was under control for the most part in this game. It was a tricky opening though. Had to kind of make sure that it did not get out of control. Question, was queen takes e1 a better try than rook takes e4? With queen e1, I just take back, and the knight also supports e1. I guess it is, yeah, wait, let's see. So rook takes e1. I think it's still like pretty cleanly winning, because if rook g6 here, we take on e8, and if takes rook g6, it's just going to lead to a situation where white's up a knight. So I can just verify with the engine, but yeah, everything was under control. Oh, even queen c8. Ah, because the queen's still hanging, so I could just take back. It's playable. Pretty clean game. There's another game I only made one inaccuracy according to the engine. Oh, engine doesn't like pawn takes pawn. It says bishop c4. Question from B. Hate. Can you analyze bishop d5 instead of knight d2? Sure. Let's find that moment. Ah, so in this position. Wait, bishop takes... Bishop d5 or bishop e5? Bishop takes d5. It does look like it's going to win material, but I mean, it looks like black has takes, and knight f7. I don't think it's worth trading off my knights for bishop for this. So, yeah, I was more interested in just completing development, holding on to the extra piece. I hope people appreciate the slower chess, slower time control. I have been streaming a lot of Blitz lately, but yeah, once in a while it's nice to throw in more instructive slow chess. This month is going to be busy for me with travels and tournament coming up, so I'm trying to get some streams in before I hit the road. I do want to show the ChessMood course on the Latvian. Again, for anyone who maybe just tuned in, hasn't heard the announcement, for the whole month of June, ChessMood is unlocking all of their courses for free. Only an email is required to sign up. We have the ChessMood command. And the only way to get access is through my link in the chat. And basically if you're an e4 player, you can basically check what they recommend against every single defense. We see the Latvian Gambit here, which they have. Okay, they have 5 episodes of instruction on. I'm actually going to go back to the homepage because there's a more advanced repertoire. Let's see, the refutations. Yeah, so this is a more advanced like refutation repertoire. And if we just click into Latvian Gambit, we can see the course overview. I'm not sure if they cover knight f6. Yeah, I think they just cover like the more popular line.
Okay,
okay, this is pretty deep.
After we take
here we
knight
go.
e5, we are not just winning a pawn, but we are going to exploit black's king weakness. The next move, we are threatening to play queen h5 check, to play bishop c4, exploit the f7 pawn, or to win the second pawn. Now, if black takes our pawn on e4, here queen h5 check is...
yeah, this is a big problem in Latvian, like all these queen h5 ideas.
If g6, then we are going to use the spin and take your knight g6. After hg6, just taking the h8 rook and staying exchange and pawn up. After queen. But there is also one more very strange move, knight c6.
Okay, it doesn't look like they actually cover what my opponent played. They do cover this knight c6 line, which is like a hybrid of the Latvian and the Stafford. But yeah, I guess knight f6, it's just I mean, engine already doesn't like it for black. Apparently bishop c4 threatening some nastiness on f7. Yeah, when my opponent played this, I was remembering the main line. Like if queen f6, there's a really nice approach for white to play d4, d6. And most people play knight c4 with like a good score. But the ChessMood course recommends knight d3. And the point is after takes, the knight finds a very nice square on f4. And it prevents black from playing d5, also prevents queen g6, which is useful in a lot of lines. And white's like significantly better here. So yeah, again, if people want to check it out, link is in the chat. Everything's available for the month of June. So yeah, I can recommend trying to see if you like it. So let's do one more. Still top 20. Let me check my like how established my classical rating is. Yeah, I need to get my rating deviation lower because currently it's 94. To be on the leaderboard, I need to be below 75. Okay, playing Ze-Prodigy. Decently high, like blitz bullet ratings. So let's play e4. Okay, we have king's pawn. Okay, let's play the ChessMood recommendation, the Scotch opening. It's not an opening I've like studied so deeply, but I went through some phases of playing this. And yeah, they have like hours worth of instruction of takes and then e5. I'm going to play the safer line, knight c3, which is a bit more easy, like especially at lower levels. My opponent's actually playing a line that I sometimes like to play. This is called the Schmid Defense. Looks like black just blundered a knight, but queen e7 comes. And there's a cool idea here for white to start with queen d3. I studied this not too long ago. And then knight b5. So white has to give back the piece. There's no way to actually save the knight. The idea with this line is to generate some initiative against the c7 pawn. Like queen takes e4 loses immediately to takes and then takes. And I'm also attacking the d5 pawn with the queen. So opponent is slowing down here. Yeah, as far as I know, this is not the best move because of queen g3. I forget exactly what black is supposed to do, though.
Happy 22 month.
Happy 22. Karst 71. Yeah, to get free access to ChessMood, you have to click the link. If you go to the site, then you don't immediately get access. It's only through my unique link. So it's part of the June promotion. Pretty sure this is the way to go. I had this recently. I forget, it was like a casual blitz game. If takes and then could also start with this. If I take and then take and then castle and then a6. And then knight c3. I guess then I'm threatening knight takes e4 and knight d5. It's still a question though. Do I want to take first or castle first? It might not make a huge difference. Leaning towards just taking first. Just a bit more forcing. So, looks like a nice opening. bit more developed. Black has these weak pawns in the center. Now white is temporarily down a pawn, but it seems like there's a lot of compensation. I mean, one threat might be queen c3, attack c7, if c6, knight d6. And yeah, I was calculating a6, knight c3, threatening knight d5, and knight takes e4. I discovered this line a few months ago. I forget what prompted me to like check this variation. I think I was just like expanding some repertoire within the Scotch, and I started like looking at options against the Schmid, because I think for a while the main line is f3, d5, bishop b5. But if black's very well prepared, then like black can still likely equalize there. But this line is definitely lesser known. And yeah, there's some move. It might be a6 here. It's like a better option for black rather than taking the knight. But it seems natural just to take the knight. Question from Tom the King. What are the courses you recommend? It really depends on what you want to learn. I mean, they have courses on like pretty much all major chess topics. If you're like beginner or amateur player, I think their courses on like tactics and calculation are quite good. Like I think it's called the Tactical Ninja course. It's one of the first courses listed. But if you're interested in openings or you want some like new opening recommendations or inspiration, then the repertoires are very thorough, and they're targeted for different rating ranges too. Yeah, if you're on your phone, it might be harder to like sign up. I was seeing some comments earlier that it's just easier to sign up on desktop. Interesting. So black's giving me a choice. I mean, bishop e6 does address the threat of knight d5, but it leaves e5 and e4 available for capture. I think I'll take e5. And then very likely win e4 next move. Black can't castle queenside. I'm controlling d8. Okay, now I can take c7 or f6 or e4. So I'll slow down here. I mean, this is simple, like takes, and takes. Trade queens, I'll be up a pawn, I'll still have initiative. Some part of me wants to take on e4, just because black's king should be more of a target. Probably makes sense to keep queens on the board. But I'm trying to calculate. Queen takes e4. Because I would be threatening knight d5. Let's say black develops a bishop. Like bishop d6. But now I have bishop c4. It does look like pretty troublesome for black. Also hitting b7. Yeah, I'm going to go for this. It just feels like there's so much more upside. Even if I'm risking like counterplay for black on the queen side. I mean, the possibility of bishop c4 and rook e1, knight d5. Bishop e7 is a logical move. But I have rook e1 here. Creating some shish kebab on the e-file. There's bishop to f5. And then probably knight d5. just to counterattack the queen. I mean, I also have takes. But, okay, that line I have to be careful, because takes, castling, knight d5. I'm not actually winning material, because queen g5, and that could backfire. Or not queen g5, but queen h6. I'm realizing, like, if I play knight d5, this was my original idea. Then after takes and takes and takes and takes, it's an opposite color bishop ending. Should still be very good chances to win. It makes me kind of wish I went for the other line. One more time. Takes, castle. Do I have anything? Like, it's dangerous to just clean up all the pawns and open the files with, I mean, black's rook's connected. Knight d5, queen h6. Yeah, I think I'll just play knight d5 immediately. Because queen h6 check, I have queen e3. And then, and this is going to turn from like an opening lesson to an endgame grind. Yeah, this could be a long game. I don't think it's good for black to like give these checks, because then I just block with my queen, and then yeah, the pressure on e-file is probably just unbearable for black. So we trade. Okay, can I convert with extra pawn? Now the key will be to keep a pair of rooks on the board. And there's g3 and bishop h3. Bishop e2 perhaps. A rook e8 is coming, and it's not easy to stop. So I'm not sure if it like really makes a huge difference what I do here. I think I'll just start with bishop d3. It's flexible, maybe create some worry for black about the h7 pawn, also prepare the rook d1. Afterwards, I can analyze and see like everything I missed in the previous position. Yeah, I'm thinking rook d1 here. Just setting up the discovery. I'm threatening this with double check. Black's not going to allow it. I have to take now. I mean, now I have bishop f5, king b8, rook d7. I'm not sure how much that achieves. Like, just rook... rook e8. I might just start with, like c3. Problem is g6 is coming. Also considering f4 here. I think the ideal setup for the pawns is f4 and g3. So, yeah, okay, let's start with this. Like, one rule is when you have an opposite color bishop ending like this, and especially when rooks are on the board, you want your pawns on the same color as your opponent's bishop and the opposite color of your bishop. Yeah, rook d8 is coming. I mean, can I play like g4 and g5? I might as well go for it.
Hello there, Eric. Waving. I was looking at your video from 6
Hello.
years ago about the Leonhardt's Gambit.
Oh.
Can I see you play that if someone tries the Scandinavian defense against you?
Yeah, I play it occasionally. It's sometimes hard to get into because not everyone cooperates. Like even people who play the Scandi don't always play Queen A5 on move 3. I did have it within the last few months against like a pretty strong grandmaster in Title Tuesday, who fell straight into the main trap with bishop takes f7. So that might be the most recent time I had it. It was probably a couple months ago. Yeah, I want to take and then take, but bishop also defends a rook. So let's avoid the rook trade. And there's some potential traps, like if rook e8, I have bishop takes b7. Black's not going to fall for much. Maybe now g5. It is like a small positional success, I think. I mean, on one hand, it does look like this pawn is a bit weak, but there's now the potential for f5. I might just start with c3, though. Let's say the bishop moves back to one of these squares, and then f5. What's nice thing with f5 is if I get the pawn to f6, it's probably really good for white. And if takes, then takes, and I win h7, which is also really good for white. So I'm not actually sure what black is gonna do. There's some weird like bishop f2, bishop g1, but f5 is still coming.
Hello, Eric.
Hello.
Chat. I've been watching the beginner to master speedrun on YouTube. My rating is up from the low 700s to high 900s.
Oh, hey, keep it up.
Thanks for making educational and understandable content.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you, Piano Josh. Appreciate the message. Yeah, I could have played f5 like right away, but I think there's no reason to like not include c3. Give some extra room for my king. Yeah, we do see bishop f2. I have this move too, but then bishop e3, so I'll play this. Hey,
4 years.
It's Vampire Chicken. Happy 4 years. I was just about to say that like this move would just run into bishop f5, but it's not actually that simple. Because bishop f5, king d8. And then everything's attacked, like both rooks staring at each other and both bishops attacked. Oh, but maybe... do I have something? It's an interesting calculation, because I have bishop to f5, king d8's forced, and then rook d2. If the king moves here, I take the bishop, I'll trade, and I win the endgame. So the king has to move elsewhere. So bishop f5, king d8, rook d2. King has to move to c7. And then there's a few moves to consider. There's bishop g6. There's even just taking, get the rook ending, and then play h4, h5. That might be winning. Honestly, that might be one of the cleanest ways to win. I really don't see myself playing any other move than bishop f5 check. I think I just play bishop f5 and then think. Unless I want to play f5. If f5 is the main alternative. But f5 looks wrong, like bishop h4. Okay, let's go for this. So king d8. And now, okay, rook d2 would force king c7. And then it's a choice, like if I want to go for craziness or go for simplicity. Let's just do one longer calculation. Rook d2, king c7, rook takes f2, pawn takes f5, h4. And the threat is h5, g6. I guess we can imagine king d6, h4, king e6, h5. Wait a minute, did I give... One more time. Check, here, takes, h4, king d6, h5. And then the king can't cross the file with the rook on e8. I guess there is rook e1. So maybe I have to throw in king d2. Yeah, if the rook infiltrates, it's not super clear. So one more time. Rook d2, king c7. I take on f2. Black takes on f5. I'm inclined to start with king d2, preventing rook e1 or rook e3. If the rook checks me, my king will just walk to f3. If the king moves in, then h4. Let's calculate, like king d6, h4, rook e4, h5, king e6. Yeah, h6 takes, or g6 takes h6, king f6, even king f7. My pawn is caught. Wait, can I force the trade in the... No, I forced the trade on the file in that line. One more time. Rook d2, king c7, takes, king d2. Yeah, king d6, h4. I was calculating rook e4, h5, but then if the king crosses e-file, I just play this and I win. And if black can't... Yeah, it doesn't seem like black can get the right configuration of pieces. Like rook d6 check, and then the king walks in, but then I still have the check. Okay. Like ideally, I just want to simplify into king pawn ending. And the rook ending was a little bit more tricky. So I spent all my time just calculating rook takes f2. There's still this move, which I guess I should at least consider. But bishop takes g6, rook e1. King c2, bishop e3. I think I can just reject it, because my rook and bishop will be attacked. Okay, let's take the bishop. Yeah, I think it's really important to play king d2 here. Because initially I was looking at h4 first, but if the rook comes in to h1, that could be unpleasant. And with this move, I prevent the rook from infiltrating. And now it's a question, like how black deals with this threat of the pawn storm. Yeah, if I took bishop e3, I would take the rook on e8. But yeah, we don't go into that line, so let's go for h4. And if black just waits, like if black just starts moving pawns on the queen side, the plan is very simply h5, g6, take, put the rook behind the pawn, and then advance the pawn. Black goes up with the king. And this is not a threat because rook e2, so I think I'm okay just to do this. Maybe I could have started with, but king d3, there's rook e1. Okay, maybe I should have considered rook e2. Maybe would have been a bit simpler. But rook e2 I think is very likely coming next. Oh yeah, what is this new gambit that Vampire Chicken has been trying to get? So I saw Vampire Chicken streaming earlier, and there was some. It seemed like there was some attempt to get some gambits. Oh hey, we got notation. Okay, I'll look at it after this game. Rook d8, interesting. I'm inclined to play rook e2. Just make sure the king can't cross e-file. Prophylaxis. I mean, these moves are discovered checks, but then king c2. I'm actually, like, I'm very close to mating here. If black gives me the chance to play this move. That's probably... I'm probably completely winning now. Like, rook e5 comes regardless. I win the f5 pawn. And now I think it's... Is it mate in 2 or mate in 3? Rook e5. Threatening b3 checkmate. And now a4. Taking away the b5 square. And b3 is unstoppable. Don't resign. Give me the pawn checkmates. It counts as a Rosen trophy. Okay. Oh, a nice finish. Honestly, I was not expecting to mate with a pawn within, like, what? In less than 10 moves from this position. It's one of these helpmates sequences. But, okay, nice instructive game. Got some, I think some opening and some endgame lessons from this game. Let's see. Yeah, Engine says I had a big advantage from the opening. Here... Yeah, the nice thing about this line is the best moves for black are hard to find. Like knight b4, hard to consider. It's way more natural just to take the knight, which, if we look on Lichess, like 88% of the games people take the knight, which is just like already very good for white after queen g3. And I took first. Engine says castling is better, but it was still pleasant. And then around here, yeah, I took the pawn. Like a few moves later, I was kind of regretting the fact I didn't take on f6, but yeah, maybe I missed something here. Bishop c4. I should have considered bishop c4. This would prevent black from castling. If takes takes, I'm controlling d8 and g8. I played rook e1. Okay, knight d5 was not a good move. Yeah, when I played knight d5, I knew we were going to simplify. A queen e5. That does look stronger. Pega chess player. Oh, saying queen e5 on move 17. Yeah, this would have been the best move. Because it creates a threat of knight d5, and if takes, threatening the bishop and knight d5. Yeah, it's just not a move I considered. question about queen c4. Queen c4 allows queenside castling, apparently. This is why I was hesitant to keep queens on the board, which is why I went for knight d5, but queen e5 was a better way to initiate the queen trade. Okay, then going forward, yeah, I still applied pressure. Bishop f2 was best. Only move was bishop h4. That's a hard move to play. I guess it kind of makes sense because it discourages f5. Bishop looks really awkward here, but I can't really trap it. And then this line. Oh, engine says bishop. Okay, so both moves were winning. I just wasn't sure about this line, though. Bishop e3? Wow, yeah, so I calculated to this position and just saw that my rook and bishop are attacked. But white's just winning here because takes, and yeah, the g-pawn is going to run. Or all these pawns are going to run. Okay. So, let me go to the starting position. And it looks like Vampire Chicken has been very generous to share whatever this new secret gambit is. No longer a secret. E4, C5, C3, knight f6. So Alpine Sicilian. E5, knight d5, and f4. Wow. Because most people play d4 and knight f3. But f4. Oh no, my pawn. And the idea is after knight takes f4, d4, attacking the knight. Knight g6, h4. C takes d4, h5. Knight takes e5, c takes d4. Knight ec6. d5, knight e5, knight f3. Knight takes f3, queen takes f3. Wow. So this position is very rare. White has sacrificed... how many pawns? Has sacrificed 2 pawns. But has pawns controlling some space, active queen, easy development. That's a cool line. I'll keep this in mind. I feel inspired. Just play some insane gambits. Maybe I'll try and play this in Spain. Study it a bit deeper. Or maybe I'll try and play this in Blitz a little bit. Can use the engine. Engine says it's not bad. I feel like most people wouldn't take the pawn though. Like most people would probably be scared, like takes in d4. It does look scary for black. Any Masters games? No Masters games. So d6 is second most played. We can look at like, what do strong players do on chess? Yeah, d6. Have to find some some challenging lines here. Like how can we make the pawn on f4 work? Knight here, knight c6. Apparently this is already fine for white. Okay, I'll look into this. Looks interesting. Thanks for sharing. Oh, there's even more tricks if they decline. Yeah, I'll have to check out some of the recent streams from Vampire Chicken.
Steve Rogers, Fred Rogers, and Eric Rosen. All mortals worthy of lifting Mjolnir.
I don't know what that means, but thank you, Noob Gambit. Anyway, I do have to go. Again, if you haven't signed up for ChessMood, link is in the chat. They've unlocked all their courses this month for free, so do check it out. And yeah, had some fun games this stream. There's still 4 hours left of this tournament if anyone wants to hop in. But I'm ending it here.